tapta jivanam kaviviriditam kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Burida Janaha Om Shanti Shanti. O Lord, your gospel is like showered upon the pain-stricken lives of suffering. It dispels all the sins and misdeeds of life. It brings spiritual welfare in life. The spiritual prosperity, beauty, and grace spreads through and through one who listens to your holy message. They are the real givers in the world who preach and pronounce the nectar of your holy message to the suffering humanity. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So we are, today again we study the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, which has been just praised in a way. This is a text, a spiritual text, which can soothe the burning soul who are tormented by the sufferings of life. So it is, for them, it is really a blessed text, how one can be immortal, being in the mortality. So Gospel, Sri Ramakrishna, everyday's life, his spontaneous responses to the human questions are so profound that it really can give us the immortal life in this mortal frame of body and mind. So last time we read that Sri Ramakrishna is talking to the devotee, and he talks about that in Vedanta, when someone identifies with the Atman, then he says, I am he, I am Brahman. Then these other distinctions, this whole world, this duality, it all disappears. Then the question came that then all of us should go on following the path of reasoning. And that response Sri Ramakrishna gave, yes, reasoning is one of the paths. It's not the only path. And it is one of the path, and it is the path of the Vedantists. But there is another path of bhakti. And he was talking about the bhakta. The bhaktas, if they weep and cry in the name of God, then their ego will be subdued and they will reach the same place. So there are two paths, jnana and bhakti. One may attain knowledge of Brahman by either path. That is the uniqueness of Sri Ramakrishna, which has been reconciled in his life, and also the eternal conflict between the bhaktas and the jnanis. Jnanis say that we are higher, they are all bhaktas, they do only sing and dance and cry and weep, emotional expressions of things. We are not, we are great. And someone says, hey, they are only singing, dancing, they have no sense what is the permanent, impermanent, who is God. So they are worthless. This conflict was going on forever. Sri Ramakrishna came to reconcile. This is a path. If you follow that path, as a student you enter into a course, you cannot be efficient like a master. So you are a student of bhakti. Bhakti, yes, practice sincerely, the same path, but ultimately you will reach the same goal. Not that bhakta will go in another one goal and jnana will reach you another place. It is a wrong concept. So Sri Ramakrishna said the other day that one attains the knowledge, one can easily get rid of the ego and the consciousness that body is the soul. It becomes possible only when, through the grace of God, they attain samadhi nirvikalpa. And then he emphasized the ego of the incarnations returns to them when they come down from the plane of samadhi. But then it is the ego of knowledge. or the ego of devotion. We find the ego. Ego is not bad. Ego, when touches the ground of our reality, which is called God, the Atman, the Brahman, then when they come back, they are pure ego. And that ego is only does good to the world. So either some keep the ego of knowledge, like Ramana Maharshi and others, they keep the ego of knowledge. But someone keeps the ego of bhakti. There are many mystic saints. But when they went into the egoless state, either a bhakta reaches that egoless state, or a jnani reaches that egoless state, they are in the same bliss, they enjoy the same Satchidananda. Vedanta called Satchidananda. They will say Parama Prema Rupa, as we have read in the Narada Bhakti Sutra. That devotion, that is of the nature of Parama Prema, supreme love. And it is immortal. Attaining that one becomes absorbed, becomes like a stone, does not have any jadavat. It becomes like that, but that saturated with the joy of bliss of God. So that much we read. So today we are starting this reading. Through the ego of devotion, Sri Chaitanya tasted divine love and enjoyed the company of the devotees. He talked about God and chanted his name as Sri Ramakrishna. Only he kept the ego of devotion. He said, "Oh mother, don't make me, what you call? Don't make me unconscious. That means don't make me just drown into the consciousness. Unconscious means this physical consciousness go away. Don't make me that. I want to be here." So it is devotee's ego. And why? I want to play with the devotees. So that is the devotee's ego. Only incarnations come down and keep. And ordinary sadhakas also. But in incarnation, this expression becomes tremendously manifested. And it impacts thousands and thousands of people. Individual bhakta, if they are anywhere attain to that absorption, comes back, yes, they will also make an influence. They will influence people. But this incarnation will influence thousands and thousands, and its impact will be promoting to the ages as it passes. So he talks about Chaitanya. You can see Chaitanya, when Sri Chaitanya passed away, and how many years have passed now? I forgot the time period, Sri Chaitanya's time. No more than that. Maybe, at least you can, you can check that what is the Chaitanya's birth. Anyhow, so it has centuries have passed. But the impact, look at that, how it started with ISKCON. It's the impact of Sri Chaitanya, no? That teaching, that devotion, it does not die away. It remains in a hidden way, subconscious. And when it gets favorable place, like it seeds are fertile seed, when a good seeds are kept somewhere. But when it just gets the water and the environment, it starts sprouting. So similarly, these ideas never die. These experiences never die. It remains in this universe. When a favorable mind meditates on that or tries to tune, he can listen to that level of vibration. So that was Sri Chaitanya. Since one cannot easily get rid of the ego, a bhakta does not explain away the state of waking, dream and deep sleep. He accepts all these states. Further, he accepts the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. A bhakta sees that God alone has become the 24 cosmic principles, the universe and all living being. He also sees that God reveals himself on his devotees in a tangible form, which is the embodiment of spirit. What a beautiful idea. Since one cannot easily get rid of the ego, so long we are in the duality, in this life, we have our ego. We eat, we sleep, we interact. We are happy, we are unhappy. So we cannot get out of the ego. So, Bhakta, but what he does not say this is all nothing. It is unreal. No. They say it is real because it is God has created this. And even Upanishad says that tat srishtva tadeva nupravishat. Brahman manifesting himself as the world, as if he created something, and he entered into it. What does it mean? Normally, somebody has created this table. This table is created by the carpenter. But that carpenter is not here now. It's called the material cause, efficient cause. This Vedantic understanding, anything created will have two causes. One should be the material cause, another should be the efficient cause. What is material cause? Material cause is this piece of wood, glue, screw, hinges, whatever, and the skill with the done. But the wood cannot get transformed like that. How did it get? Oh, some carpenter, skillful carpenter, he acted upon this. He is called the efficient cause. But here we see, what is this? Where is the efficient cause? We don't see. So we see the world like that, as if it is running by its own. But no, there is an efficient cause. And that efficient cause is God. And in Vedanta say, yes, whatever you are seeing, this universe, it is God created. Like you create in your dream. We are talking in the morning. But in every dream experience, all the people, all the things there, it is you only. So you created and you entered into it. That is the way devotee can see that this world is created by God and it is God's creation. Put God in everything. That's why he says that the Bhakta does not explain away the states of waking, dream and deep sleep. They say, oh, dream is like that, this is also another dream. Dream is not true, this is also not true. Sleep is also not true, ultimate, because you stay only few minutes in the deep sleep, come out of that. So these are the three states. Vedanta says, which changes, get out. That is not that Brahman. But the Bhakta does not say so. Bhakta says he accepts all the states. He says, yes, I am in the waking state. What I see, it is God who has taken so many forms. When you are dreaming, yes, God also is there, creating my dream world, and he is the boss. Bhakta confers everything to God. Vedanta says these are unreal, therefore to be abandoned, throw away. Neti neti ho vacha. It is not this, that is this statement to be done. So, but Bhakta will take these states, and further not only that, in this state there are three types of things: Sattvika manifestation, Rajasika and Tamasika. Sweet, loving, caring, respectful. That is Sattvika. Arrogance, ego, pride, haughtiness. Rajasika. Tamasika, dullness, callousness. Opposite buddhi. You say something, understands the wrong way. His buddhi is like that. What can you do? You put something there, it goes like this. It does not go straight. So that is the three guna. The whole world is three guna. But who has created this three guna? It is God only. God has become this, God has become the rose, God has become the poison oak, God has become the fragrant flower, and God has become also poisonous flowers. It is here, it is there. Both are the glory of God. So Bhakta wants to see the glory of God. That's why even in death and in disease, in suffering as in pain, they always see God's grace. Rabindranath Tagore, he saw in the utter time of distress, bereavement, loss of his son and others, he got a new message. I always refer that point of Pawari Baba, the snake coming. A snake is snake. It is within the three gunas. No? The snake is coming to bite. He is not seeing anything. He says, oh, God has come. God has sent his messenger. It is God coming to welcome me, to take home. This is God in every position. So this is the guna. A bhakta sees that God alone has become the 24 cosmic principles. Means, again, 24 cosmic principles. Everything you see falls within 24 cosmic principles. 24 cosmic principles. What are the 24 cosmic principles? 5 organs of senses, perception. 5 organs of activity, action, 5, 5, 10. 5 material things, earth, air, water, fire. Without that, this body is impossible. Nothing is in the world within a mixture of these 5. And the 5 subtle elements. When you go to dream, you see subtle. Same air, water is there, but not this gross. So this 5 times 5, 4, 20, and mind, mana, buddhi, intellect, ego, mana, buddhi, ego, and remembering faculty, chitta. Or some say it is mahatattva. Mahatattva means buddhi, intellect. These are the 24. So this 24 we call, it is called the prakriti. In Sankhya philosophy they call prakriti. But prakriti is jara, it is separate entity. But Bhakta says, no, all these are same. These are all God. There is nothing but God in different facets of it. What a great idea. No rejection. Bhakta rejects nothing. Bhakta takes everything, but everything as God or God's manifestation. This is very important point. Everyone is not a bhakta. Because I come to salute the temple and I sit there meditate, I am not a bhakta. Bhakta is who? Who can see God in everything. Everything good or bad. Everywhere the hands of God. So that is called the bhakta. And Sri Ramakrishna says, the bhakta sees. Sees what he sees? That God alone has become the 24 cosmic principles. And God alone has become the universe, this universe. Here, 24 principles is here, isn't it? In the body, as an individual. But what about this? This also, this wood, fire, gold, whatever, sky, star, galaxies, everything is made of the same, that it is universe. And also all living animals, living beings not only human, coronavirus also. Who can see that? There is a story, that one lady who had a cancer condition and she sang that day. What is her name? Lindsay? Quincy. And what she did? She didn't go to doctor. She thought that all cancer cells, they are also my friend. They are also. He make friendship with them mentally, psychologically. It is a miracle, and she is totally free. How it happened? People will say it is just a story, but if we believe her statement, she speaks with so much emotion and so much cry, that she felt it is not my enemy. As my HDL, so much is LDL. And the blood cholesterol. Bad, good. Oh, that is also mother, this is also mother. That's why Bhakta sees God everywhere.
It's like Job, the story of Job in the Bible.
Job,
The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away with the Lord receiveth.
Lord giveth and Lord taketh away. So, to Bhakta should be seeing the hands of God everywhere. Not only hands, it is God Himself playing. Bhakta takes shelter. uh, he also sees God reveals Himself and also sees that God reveals Himself. It is His grace. He reveals to the devotees. That's why they cry, "Oh Lord, please come and give." Ramakrishna showed that. You cry, cry, and mother appeared. No? He sees that God reveals Himself to His devotees in a tangible form. No more talk, seeing something dream or hallucination. No. It is as I see. That's why Ramakrishna said, I see God more tangibly than I see you. I see you with my eyes and I am sure that you are sitting over there. I am not hallucinating now. Why? If you ask me why, I see. The physical presence I see. No? Sri Ramakrishna said, we don't see Mother Kali. Where is Mother Kali? Mother Kali is here walking. Now here. But it is not for me. But he said, I see. That seeing capacity, God reveals by prayer. That's the Bhakta's way. To talk about seeing, praying and crying and weeping like a child, and God reveals Himself. The Bhakta takes shelter under the Vidya. Bhakta also first take not Avidya Maya. Avidya Maya, they don't care for God. They are charvakas, Jain philosophers. They don't have belief in God or God is there. But Bhakta, as a student of this discipline, Bhakti school, you will have to take the Vidya Maya. That Maya which releases us from bondage. Two Maya is there. One is binding, another is releasing. You can twine the rope this way and you can undo it this way. We get entangled into the world and you can unentangle also this way. So this is the Vidya Maya. He seeks holy company. What Vidya Maya? What is the sign that you are following the path of Vidya Maya? One point. Vidya Maya, if you are endowed with it, you will seek holy company. His or her heart will always run for having some company of holy people. Devotion. He goes for holy company, goes on pilgrimage, practices discrimination. Anything comes in life, is it taking me towards God or is it taking me away from God? If it is away from God, dussanga. Narada says, dussanga sarvataiva tajya. Bad association. If it takes us away from, he shuns, he does not go there. This much discrimination. Discrimination or discernment is that which takes me towards God, which takes me away from God. So that sense will come if one is following Vidya Maya. And he is going to the pilgrimage to regenerate the concept of divinity. Devotion, renunciation, all these will be Vidya Maya. Vidya Maya, same. You are a devotee, you have renunciation. Oh, it is only for the monks. Or it is the Vedantas. No, not this, not this. No. Renunciation is common. Renunciation of what? That which takes me away from God. And love for what? Which takes me closer to God. One consideration, God. And all other considerations are secondary, are useless. He says that since a man cannot easily get rid of the ego, he should let the rascal remain as the servant of God, the devotee of God. Our ego will not go. Ego will raise its hood in so many ways. Even politeness is also ego. Sometimes they are so humble. I am nothing means I am somebody. I am nothing, I have no ego. Please, I am nothing. But you say, hey, no, you are so good. Why are you saying you are nothing? Then you get pampered. Their heart is swelling in joy.
But they say that
Ego,
humility is not to have a low opinion of oneself, it is to have no opinion of oneself.
Yeah. So, that egolessness is that how we can connect our ego with God, no? So man cannot get rid of ego. Therefore, how to deal with our ego? You rascal, be a servant ego. Say, I am servant of Ramakrishna. Here I am, who am I here? I am a maid servant. I am a servant of Ramakrishna. Anything comes, I do for God. But who can think that I am doing for God? If one can think that I am doing from morning till now for Ramakrishna, so his or her mind will be like a gold. All is joy. Whatever I did for Ramakrishna, finish. I love Ramakrishna. That is called devotion. What all anger comes, it is my ego. I want this way and it is happening this way. I like this way, it is not, other is not maintaining that way, my way. My way, the highway. It is always ego struggle. This is ego struggle. But who can subdue that ego? I have no consideration, I am only to work. I have dedicated myself at the feet of the Lord. So Bhakta will say, my life is dedicated at the feet of the Lord. Dogs are very, what do you call? Very, very submissive to the boss. Wherever boss goes, dog will go. And boss, in whatever dress, dog understands his boss. So, Mahapurush Maharaj had a dog. Her name was Kelo. And when Mahapurush Maharaj used to come down and sit, and the Kelo will come and just tilt his tail and do that and loitering around and rolling down the feet. And then the Mahapurush Maharaj with the stick, rubbing on his back, and said, "Hey, Kelo, you are my dog, and I am his dog." He point out towards the temple, in the shrine room. Thakur is there, I am his dog. You are my dog, I am his dog. That means their ego is totally given to God. Nothing. So how to kill the ego? You are not to kill the ego. Let the ego remain. Only let the ego say, I am not this person as I am. I am not this, I have so much quality. And not thus I can lecture, I can talk, I can give, I. Rather you say, I have nothing, it is all God. Anything, it's God's glory. So that's why ego remains, but strength of the ego goes away. And it helps us in spiritual life. So, he should not let the rascal remain, he should let the rascal remain as the servant of God, the devotee of God. But Bhakta also attains knowledge of oneness. He sees nothing exists but God. He does not regard the world as a dream, but says that it is God Himself who has become everything. In a wax garden, you may see various objects, but everything is made of wax. What a beautiful example. Wax museum, everything is wax. All these actors, actresses, or any other figure you see, they look like a living person. But all wax, different design, different shape. Last Supper table, there you will find the table is made of wax. All the disciples are sitting there, each feature, but they are all made of wax. The bowl, the wine bowl, that's also made of wax. The wine you see inside, that's also wax. And Christ sitting, he is also made of wax. So wax. Sri Ramakrishna is another place says, that it is a garden, wax garden. He mentioned in another place. I saw that it is all made of one thing, like wax. But man realizes this only when his devotion to God has matured. It, as we understand, this devotion is not, ordinary devotion will not take you to there unless your ego has been so supersaturated with God and you lose your ego. Until then, this will not happen. A man realizes this only when his devotion to God has matured. That's why we call para-bhakti. Vaidhi bhakti means vidhivadhiyo bhakti. Vidhivadhiyo means following the rules and regulations, do's and don'ts in the process at the beginning stage. See how our puja is done. This is impure, that's pure. Don't touch it. You have touched it, it is impure. It's necessary towards the beginning. Otherwise you will make a mess of it. Let the idea of concept of purity come in our mind. And then that purity will be so much saturated, then we will find that, in the garden, that flower, that is pure, that is already offered to the Lord. But no. This will go to the Lord, I will pluck it and put it in the... So that's a matured state, will be that one, the seeing God's glory everywhere. But in the beginning it is necessary. So matured devotion, when God will be, man will realize God. One gets jaundice, is giving an example. Jaundice, you know, jaundice is a disease. You see everything, eye becomes yellow. So anything you see, as if you are using a yellow glass, then everything is yellow. When you are affected by that disease called jaundice, when too much bile accumulates, then one sees everything as yellow. From constantly meditating on Krishna, Radhika saw everything as Krishna. Moreover, she felt that she herself had become Krishna. If a piece of lead is kept in a lake of mercury a long time, it turns into mercury. The cockroach becomes motionless by constantly meditating on the kumira worm. It loses the power to move. At last it is transformed into a kumira. Similarly, by constantly meditating on God, the bhakta loses his ego. He realizes that God is He and He is God. When the cockroach becomes the kumira, everything is achieved. Instantly one obtains liberation. So it is think. Thinking you become. What you think, so you become. As you think, so you become. It's a very important spiritual practice. To think, that's why meditation. That's why I say day and night meditate. Means what? You think. And as you think, so you become. You think you are worthless you become. You think I am a child of God, you become a child of God. You feel I am that, you become I am that. You think worthless, you become worthless. So it is all what you think. So when given the example, when Radharani was thinking of Krishna, others saw that as if Krishna is present there. When Radharani used to stand before the mirror and to put makeup and other things, not for my pleasure, that I will look good. No. Krishna will like this type of decoration or this type of, what you call, putting whatever, eyelash or this and that. A mind is gone to such, in one sacred moment she saw that it is Krishna, face is Krishna. She is gone. This transformation is happened when one thinks of another person intensely. Like gross example, recent story. Swami Brahmananda Maharaj used to think of Ramakrishna so much that Brahmananda Swami is walking, and from a distance others saw Ramakrishna walking. Because they saw Ramakrishna while he was living in Dakshineshwar. And his movement, his gesture, his posture, Holy Mother. There is a, pan, betel lip. So Thakur, when he used to go to Samadhi, and sometimes he used to take betel lip, there is the triangular shape, betel lip, when they make it for offering. And there is a tip size, is so small. Ramakrishna used to bite it and throw away the tip portion. And then use the rest of the thing and chew it. Holy Mother, in the mood of ecstasy, she used to do the same thing that time. Her behavior was exactly as Ramakrishna's behavior. That's why Ramakrishna Maya. Ramakrishna Gata Prana. The prana, her prana has gone into Ramakrishna. Prana means the whole vital energy, whole vital thinking. Ramakrishna Gata Prana, Tannama Shravana Priya. She gets delight in listening the name of Ramakrishna. As soon as Ramakrishna enters into her ear, she goes into ecstasy. We don't see that because she used to veil her face all the time. Tad bhava ranjito akara. Bhava means the mood. Ramakrishna's mood. She's so imbued into Ramakrishna's mood that her physical body, ranjito, has been colored. It has transformed into Ramakrishna. So this is a very great thing to understand in Bhakti school. Ramakrishna, look at Ramakrishna's life. These are all tested and verified. Modern science cannot just give any explanation. When
That story, but when he was trying to assume the attitude of Hanuman.
at that I am saying. So when Ramakrishna was in the mood of Hanuman, practicing for Rama. So you want to attain Rama, you like to be like Hanuman. And you are so much involved in the thought of Hanuman idea that he used to walk like the Hanuman, the monkeys jump. He will not walk as we walk, he used to walk, but he will jump. He will be holding that branch of a tree, hang, like sometime. He used to put a tail, long cloth, tied in the waist and make a tail. And ultimately, they say that a tail has grown at the back. Physically, Hridaya saw that. During intense thinking, your physical features change. So this is Sri Ramakrishna's bhakti, is that he is taking the Dasya bhakti, Shakya bhakti, Madhura bhakti, all these different schools of practice Ramakrishna did, and there we find that his physical body is transformed to the idea of what he was thinking. It is intense thinking. And that's why he gave the example of a cockroach. When a kumira worm, one type of worm, bumblebee or something like that, maybe. So when the cockroach sees that, he gets out of fear, becomes still, and thinking that he will kill me, he will kill me, he will kill me. It says that after some time it transforms into the bhomra. Anyhow, whether it happens, I do not know. Thakur has mentioned such example, because the transformation. So similarly, constantly meditating on God, a bhakta loses his ego. So his ego will automatically go. God's ego will come. He realizes that God is he and he is God, or he or she, whatever. As long as God retains the ego of a man, he should establish a definite relationship with God, calling on him as master, mother, friend, or the like. I spent 1 year as handmaid, the handmaid of the Divine Mother, the embodiment of Brahman. I used to dress myself as a woman. I put on a nose ring. One can conquer lust by assuming the attitude of a woman. So he's talking that, he says that as long as God retains the ego in a man, as long we are having ego, I sense is there, it is better to create a relationship with God. What relationship? You can say, God is my boss, master, I am his servant. God is my father, I am his child. God is my mother, I am his child. No? God is my friend. So some relationship, because ego, instead of identifying with another mortal object, connecting with the divine object. So keep a relationship, that ego not to crush. Vedanta says, crush the ego. I as body, crush it. I as mind, crush it. I as intellect, crush it. Throw away. No, you use your intellect thinking that it is Sri Ramakrishna's. If anything you think noble, oh, it is Sri Ramakrishna's grace. Not you. You do. Apparently, suppose something good comes out of your writing, of your speaking, of your any program you did which reached success. How to ego to be transformed? Oh, I didn't do. It is God is gracious. He has used my ego or my mind to do this. Subdue your ego in God, and then God will play. It is said, many Swamis, Swami Prabhupada Swami, when he came here, he was nervous to come over here. And then Swami Sarvadevananda, I said, you only go. We will take care of the other things. You need not have to think about it. He will have to come here in a foreign land and to work to start this center. But it is not your problem. We will do it. You only just subdue your ego. You know the people who have done tremendous great job in the world, their ego is zero ego, or God's ego works through them. But God's ego, how it will work? If my ego blocks it, I am blocking and God is trying to enter. How it will enter unless you make the way access? আমার মাথা নত করে দাও হে প্রভু তোমার চরণ ধুলার পরে সকল অহংকার হে আমার ঘুচাও চোখের জলে ও লর্ড, আমার মাথা নত করে দাও, let it bow down, তোমারও চরণ ধুলার উপরে, at your feet, no? And let my সকল অহংকার, all my ego, সকল অহংকার আমার ডুবাও with the tears in the eyes. Let tears be so much I cry for you that my ego will be swimming, got drowned into that. My ego should be drowned into that. So this is the call of a devotee. Devotee wants to subdue the ego, and that's why Ramakrishna's suggestion, how to live in the world. You live with your ego. You need not have to give up your ego, but only connect that ego with God. And how to connect with God? Say, God is my Father. God is my friend. God is my resort. All in my difficulties and suffering and this, He is my support. There is no other. We tell every day, you are my only refuge. Every day we say, tasmat tameva sharanam mama dina bandho. O dina bandho, O Lord of the lowly. Tam eva, I take sharanam, I take refuge in you. I know Bhakti bhagasya bhajanam. Bhavavedakari. I know, to destroy the mystery of this world, we need that bhakti, devotion, bhajan, spiritual practice, and renunciation. These I know, these are needed. But oh Lord, though I speak all these great thing, big bombarding words, but nothing reflects in my life. So please, oh Lord, I am your humble, I take refuge at your feet. Please help me. This is the ego surrendering. We read every day. Tell me, every day we chant. How many people you think this way? Really? What are you chanting? Really we are feeling that, oh Lord, I am surrendering you. I know. Bhaktrodhitopi hridime. I talk too much, loud. Aha, Jnana, Vairagya, Bhakti, lecture. We are giving lecture hours and hours. But no me bhati kinchit. It is not reflected in my life. What shall I do, O Lord? Please, you know my weakness. Please give me shelter. Please help me. That is the point. That's the ego subdue. And that is the way to make a relationship with God. And only ego can be overcome.
Swami Gunas was saying that was telling a story, I think, when he gave a lecture in Santa Barbara, that he was saying that Prabhu Maharaj told him that at the end of every day, you should sit and you should sit in front of Thakur and think, what has Thakur given me and what have I given Thakur? And you will realize that Thakur has given me everything and I have given nothing. And he said, and then you should sit there with tears coming down your face and say that these tears are the only thing that I have to offer you, and even that belongs as much to you as it belongs to me.
Mm. Yeah. So, did you get it what she said? She said that one Swami came and she was in Santa Barbara and he was speaking that every day, at the end of the day, think what I got from you, O Lord, and what I have given back to you. And then, even if you can give something, then you think that with the tears of eyes, say that it is nothing, O Lord, make me your servant. Like that. So, surrender is the attitude. One must. So, she said, I spent 1 year as a handmaid. And he said, I took the attitude of a handmaid of the Divine Mother, which is the embodiment of Brahman. And that time I used to dress myself as a woman. I put on nose ring and ornaments like that. One must worship Adya Shakti, that is Mother. She must be propitiated. In spiritual life, you have to go to Mother first. Thakur will be sitting inside, but you cannot enter unless Mother opens the door. So it is said, Mother holds the key. Makshadvara kapat patana kari kashi puradhishwari bhikshang dehi kripavalamana kari mata annapurneshwari. O Mother Annapurna, the presiding deity of Benaras, Kashi, you are holding the key. Makshadvara, the daraja, the door, is blocked for me. And you have the key. You can only kapata patanakari. You can break this covered door. My heart is blocked. So you please cover. And the key is with you. Maksadvara kapata patanakari. Kashipurad. Bhikshangde. Please, I beg your this much begging bowl I am carrying. Please release me from this bondage by opening. And when you open it, you get to see the treasure. That's the point. That God vision is dependent on grace of Mother. That's why Ramakrishna emphasized in this age to worship God as Mother. So see, he is suggesting one must worship the Adya Shakti. Adya Shakti means the power. Adya Shakti means primordial power, original power. She must be propitiated. You have to propitiate her. That's why the story, propitiating Mother. That story, the Holy Mother came to Belur Math, and that story, the boys are chopping the vegetables. And mother, Baburam Maharaj was taking mother to show what going on in this mart. And mother was very pleased to see the dressing of the vegetables done by these brahmacharis. And mother was very propitiated by that. And that's why very intelligent brahmachari, who was Jagadananda, who has translated the original great master. He said, it is to gain, to propitiate Holy Divine Mother is the goal of life. If one can do by meditation or previously people do austerities. How much austerities in the Himalayas people do? With no food, with bare body, with no medical care or any support, but austerity for propitiating mother. So he said, if you can do some tapas, austerity, but I can do by chopping the vegetables. Mother is happy, that's all. If you get, then your wisdom, knowledge in your hand. So propitiate mother. So that should be the... She alone has assumed all female forms. Therefore I look on all women as mother. The attitude of looking on woman as mother is very pure. The Tantra mentions the Bhamachara method also. Bhamachara method means left-handed path. According to this attitude, the aspirant seeks to conquer lust by fulfilling its urge. But that is not a good method. It causes the aspirant's downfall. A devotee keeping an object of enjoyment near him has reason to be afraid. But looking on woman as mother is like fasting on the Ekadashi day without touching even a drop of water. That means it's a good thing to carry this idea of looking upon every woman as divine mother or spark of the mother. In this attitude, there is not the slightest trace of sensual enjoyment. Another way of observing the Ekadashi also, they taking the fruits and the like. One can also observe the day by eating luchi and curries. But my attitude is not to touch even a drop of water. There are many people they perform fasting different ways. Some people say they don't even drink a drop of water. Ramakrishna said, mine is that. No sensual touch in the life. All divine. But somebody, they say, okay, I will take some fruits in the morning and in the evening I will take some fruits. Some say, okay, when I am hungry I will take something. Some say, okay, at the end of the day I will have fried luchis and good potato curries and very delicious other things I will do and do the Ekadashi. That is like the Bhamachara, left-handed tantras. They go and for sensual enjoyment and to conquer. Oh my God, how much powerful you are to conquer. So that's that type of... But Ramakrishna given an example, meaning there will be many people of many varieties. They are not bad. From their level they are doing that, then they will grow another way, and then one day they will reach that point without drop of water. that type of fasting. But that is for Ramakrishna or Vedanta or this method of Vedanta society or Ramakrishna mission, that is the policy. You be fasting without water. Not in a real fasting, but in spiritual fasting, as you say, looking upon woman as mother. So pure relationship. Okay, let me finish this paragraph. I worshipped Shodashi as my mother. Shodashi means literally maiden, 16 years old. The worship of a maiden is a discipline prescribed in the Tantra. Shodashi Puja. Thakur did it for Holy Mother also, Shodashi, as my mother. I looked on all parts of her body as those of my mother. This attitude regarding mother, God as mother, is the last word in sadhana. O God, thou art my mother, I am thy child. This is the last word in spirituality. So, this is very good practice to think that I am the child, O mother, you are the mother. And you have taken so many divine forms to see mother. I know of a devotee, he is really very inspirational to see that. He is now maybe in mid 80s, 85 or something, but he practiced, he started practicing this one idea. We read books. No, not too many books are necessary for reading. How to apply in life is the question. So he one day very emotionally, privately telling me, no, I started seeing this idea, I got it, that every man I see, I think it is Sri Ramakrishna in this form. Every woman I look at is a mother in this form. This is a practice I tried, but now I do not tell anybody. With my wife, I see his mother. It's a it is not that he's beating the drum to outside people. Very privately, that gentleman told me that it has transformed my whole outlook. Whenever I see any woman, mother's idea come. So this is possible to do. That's why for the women, every man should be looked upon as Ramakrishna or his spark. And for the women, men, every woman should be seen as the spark of the Divine Mother. Or more goes the manifestation of Mother in this form and that form. So this is the Sri Ramakrishna's path. It is the fasting without a drop of water. That is the goal. And that should we hold on. That is his instruction. Is there any question? Not very relevant. I would be happy if there is relevant such question, because I have to not to go tangentially. How do we subdue our ego? It is not easy in practical life to bow down to a fellow human in order to have no ego. Yes, no. We need not have to subdue ego. Does not mean to an idiot who does not understand you fall at his feet. Then he will take advantage of you. Why? Outside you will have to, if you see that he is not that respect, he has no capacity to earn that respect, so you should not. But your heart should say, inside that person is God. So respect that way. Mentally you salute, not physically. You see a cobra, so you will salute there and get a bite from cobra. Or you avoid or protect yourself. But you respect, there is the cobra, is cobra because God's consciousness is behind. A dead cobra and a live cobra. What is that difference? There is a consciousness manifested. So long consciousness manifested, see they are God. But don't allow in practical life to bow down to a fellow who has so much ego and you pamper his ego by showing your egolessness. No, that should be practical. You should all material manifestations we see around are nothing but illusion, a creation of our mind due to the thought of ignorance. Yes, that's true. Jack has put this question, all material manifestation we see around us, nothing. There is a path of jnana or knowledge. I have talked about that. But bhakta, the devotees, look it as manifestation of God only. How to practice devotion in the path of jnana, knowledge? Yes. How to practice devotion? You cannot be a jnana path. You cannot follow the path of jnana unless you have devotion. Because for a jnana path, God is infinite. God is beyond time, space, causation. So if you don't love that, why will you search for that truth? So jnana path is not bereft of bhakti. But here bhaktiology means bhakti to saguna. bhakti to a form only. No, bhakti may be of the formless also. In the Narada Bhakti Sutra, he says it may be form, it may be formless. So yes, we must have love for that knowledge, subject of knowledge, that is Brahman. Uh, okay, so thank you.
So this asks that is cause and effect a result of Brahman, and is cause and effect both from the past and future, not and
Cause and effect. Cause and effect, that is called the world. You look at this world, where did it come from? Then you go cause and cause of what is the cause behind cause. Cause and effect. We live in the world of cause and effect. When you see the world, then naturally you ask the question, what is the cause? So Vedanta says, what is the ultimate cause? It is called in the Upanishad it is said, it is the Brahman. And Brahman manifested in this way. That is the ultimate cause. There is no cause of Brahman. But Brahman is the one infinite absolute, that is the cause of all manifestations. And in manifested universe there is the law of causation. And law of causation, who has set it? You see, when the absolute Brahman, there is no question of causation. What is the cause? Who will say what is the cause? Because there is no other but one truth. But when that one becomes many, by whose wish? By the cosmic will, that's called God's will, then the formula of causation starts. But it is very difficult to see cause is the first or effect is the first. Seed is the first or tree is the first. Okay, if you said seed, then what is the cause of the seed? A tree. Then you put the question, where the tree comes from? The seed. Where the seed comes from? It is called the logic, which is a roundabout. There is a technical name. It's called the that logic which has no beginning, insolvable logic. So, circular logic, no, there is a technical term. But that means it has no end. You can go round and round, seed to seed, again to tree to seed to tree to seed. Then there is no end. You cannot find the root cause. That's why Vedanta says it is Maya. It is not created. You see only. When you see, that's Maya. And Vedanta Bhakta says, as I discussed today, Ramakrishna said, made of 24 principles, everything is God has become, it is God, I am seeing God only in this form. Anyway, ঠিক আছে. That's all. দাও তাহলে. ঠিক আছে. Does free will exist or is really changeless because Brahman is changeless? Free will, yes, there exists and at the same time it does not. Free will is a big question. We always talk about that. How many times the same question have come? Free will exists. Yes, you are free. You are listening to this talk. Your will, you might not listen to it. You can just stop it. So there is a range within us, capacity to go this way or that way. So that is our free will. And that we should have to exercise. But that is given by God. It is not yours. So that's why ultimately you say it is all God's will. But so long we live, breathe, eat, we have our own small decisions. We can make decisions right and wrong. There we can say we have free will. But actually there is no free will. Ultimately everything is God's will. Ramakrishna said, even the leaf does not move without the will of God. So in that sense, everything is God's will. But yes, don't give it that way. God's will. But you have some power. You can come to meditate, you don't come to meditate. It is your will. You can decide to go for a walk, or you can start for meditation. You can go to take food. You don't want to take food. That's your free will. This much short length of freedom is given. But that is given by God already. It is given the example, the cow is tied to a peg with a little rope, extension of the rope tied in his neck, no? So, the cow can move, stand there, can stand here, can stand in the circular path, as within the range anywhere, but he cannot go beyond. But who has given this freedom, this self energy of the cow? Already the cowherd boy has given that freedom. God has given us this rope. We are all given little rope. We have to exhaust that. Then the cowherd boy will be happy, and they'll extend my free will. Give me more strength to meditate, give me more strength to what I want to do, indomitable energy to do things.
Here is another question. The first one.
We have already talked how to subdue our ego.
No,
It is
this
not
one, here it is.
easily in practical life. ওটা হয়ে গেছে, হ্যাঁ?
Here is one, the first one.
Satya Yuga, a part of Advaita teaching. Is Satya Yuga a part of Advaita teaching? And if so, when will Satya Yuga? I do not know. I have no idea. But we know this much, that Satya Yuga is that time period when people are all pure, they forgot their malice, they have no jealousy, they have no fight with each other, they are not very moral, ethical, ideal. In Satya Yuga, no one keeps their door locked. No one. There are even villages in India and some other places, they don't close their door. There is no closing of their door. They're so simple. There is no one thinks that they will steal something from someone. Satya Yuga. But Satya Yuga is actually when many people will be thinking of God, when many people will be very honest, dedicated to the Brahman consciousness, God consciousness, love for God, in that level. That is called Satya Yuga. And some believe that when God comes, Satya Yuga starts. But sometimes it is a problem. If we say it is the beginning of Satya Yuga, what is this Satya Yuga? Look at the world, what is going on. All turmoil and nasty, all dirty things are going on, no? Is it Satya Yuga? Some say, yes, it is beginning of Satya Yuga. Because one Yuga, one age ends, another Yuga starts. So there is a turmoil. Think of a river, low tide going on, low, 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 low. When it is low, it's dirty water, dirty things, all accumulated in the bottom. And high tide is coming from that side, no? Then at this juncture, all the dirty things get turmoil, and it's a nasty thing. But after some time, it takes little time to go through this turmoil. And then it may be for this consideration, in considering this change, age such big, it may be 20 years, 30 years, it goes like that, 40 years, 50 years. And then comes the high tide water, pure and clear. We saw on the bank of Ganga, Belur Math is on the bank of Ganga, we used to look at that. The low tide means all the water level has gone down, 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 coming from the upper side to the Bay of Bengal, no? And now high tide has come, the ocean has swollen, so the ocean water is up, and then it enters through the same channel, and then huge rush of water goes. That's the Satya Yuga. And this is the Kali Yuga going on, no? And then turmoil. And it is terrible thing. All the dirty things come out in the surface, and everything is mismatch. But when this flow goes on and on, the wave goes, then ultimately There things settle down and the beautiful clear water can be found and it's full, river is full. Okay, so thank you all and tomorrow will be Bhagavad Gita class at 7:30, no? In the evening, Swami Satyamayananda will give that class tomorrow 7:30. We end with a chant. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.